In today's lesson, we'll be focusing on stamp duty. Stamp duty is a tax paid to the Office of State Revenue whenever you buy a new or used vehicle. It is calculated on the market value of the vehicle or the price actually paid, whichever is the greater. Stamp duty is usually included on the on-road price of a new vehicle. So in New South Wales, we have the following rates for stamp duty on a motor vehicle. So if your vehicle is worth anything between $0 to $44,999, then you have to pay a rate of $3 for every $100, which means the same thing as 3%. Okay, for every $100 you pay $3, or for part of $100 you also pay $3, which means that any kind of car that is, say for example, worth $30,205 will be seen to be $30,300. Then 3% of this is taken off as tax. Similarly, if you had a car that is worth $18,870, the next 100 up from 800 will be 900. So 3% will be taken away from this as tax to the government. This works a bit differently for $45,000 and over. A fixed amount of $1,150 gets given to the government, plus another $5 for every $100, or part thereof, $100. Over $45,000. We're going to explore this in example 4. So, in example 4, Lexi purchased a vehicle for $56,240. The stamp duty is $3 for every $100, or part of $100 of the purchase price, up to $44,999, which this price isn't the case. This actually follows this sentence, which is and $1,150 plus $5 for every $100, or part of $100 for $45,000 or over. So it's actually matching up with this. Okay, this part of the sentence is what was written up here. It's this one here. Okay, so the purchase price of this is $56,204. You have to round this to the nearest 100 in order to calculate the stamp duty. So the next 100 after 200 is 300. You round the number up. The stamp duty is then $1,150, as stated here, plus 5% for every $100, a part thereof, over $45,000. So, how much more than $45,000 is this, right? You would have to get that same amount, subtracted by the $45,000, like this, and times that by 5%. Putting this on a calculator gives us $1,915, and that's how much this person paid as stamp duty. Right, moving on. Part B, complete the table below. So, for any kind of vehicle value from 0 all the way to $80,000, you have to use the following stamp duty rules applied, okay, to find them. So I have said anything that is between 0 to $44,999 uses this rate. And I've done this by putting it in green. So this green part is matching with this. So we're only going to use that first row for the green part. So if your car's worth $0, then obviously you pay no stamp duty there. If your car is worth $10,000, then you pay 3% of that. That's $300. If a car is worth $20,000, then $20,000 times 3% will be $600. If your car's worth $30,000, times it by 3%, and you get $900. Okay, and then for $40,000, it's $1,200, and this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky. So anything above $45,000 and over, you have to use this, which means you firstly pay for this one. Okay, you have to pay $1,350 plus 5% for any value that is over $45,000. So how much is $45,000, which is this price, over $45,000? Oops. It is 0. So that's 0. And 0 plus 1,350 is 1,350. So we're going to write that there. Now, what if it's 50,000 then? Then we're still going to pay that same amount, 1,350 plus 5% of how much 50,000 is over 45,000, and that will give us 1,600. If we put that on calculators, and then you do the same thing for 70,000. So 1,350 plus 5% times 70,000 minus 45,000, and that would equal to 2,600. So let's put all those values in. Okay, and the other one will be this. Yep. So you can see that as the vehicle value goes up, the stamp duty also increases. So the more expensive the car is, the more stamp duty or tax you have to pay to the government. Now the next question is asking for us to graph vehicle value versus stamp duty. So this goes on the x-axis, this goes on the y-axis. Okay, so what they've done here is that every smaller square down here goes up by 1,000. So 10 squares give you 10,000, another 10 squares give you up to 20,000, and so forth. So the stamp duty is graphed versus the vehicle value. Okay, let's just say we graph that out, and that's the blue line, right? Question D, use the graph to find the nearest $100, the stamp duty on a $64,000 vehicle. So I go ahead and go 64,000, which is 4 squares to the right of $60,000. I go up, hit that piecewise line graph, okay, and I go across. And that will give us 3 squares above 2,000, which is $2,300. So for a vehicle that is $64,000 in price, you pay a stamp duty of that. Now, if you're doing part 2, the value of a vehicle if the stamp duty is 750. So we look for 750. Now, 750 is right over here. It is right between these two numbers. So in the center here, if I go across, hit the line, go down, that value looks like 25,000, I believe, right? So the answer for that one is $25,000.